Hello, my name is Chester Keith Williams. My presentation is on barriers to communication. Barriers to communication can be verbal or nonverbal. Example of verbal barriers can include inadequate knowledge or vocabulary. This is when the sender, the person creating the message, doesn't have much knowledge of the topic, doesn't understand or know the audience. Also, differences in interpretation can be a form of verbal barrier. When the receiver, the audience, interprets words used by the sender to mean something different than what the sender intended, this can be a real barrier to communication. This often happens because words can have different meaning, especially the connotation meaning of a word can mean something different. It's subjective to different people. So be careful in your communication to use words that are clearly understood by your audience. Another form of verbal barriers is inappropriate use of expressions, using slang or jargon. I'm not saying you can't use slang or jargon, but only use it sparingly and only when you know that your audience understands what you're saying. Euphemisms can be used and on some occasions should be used, but used moderately. An example when it should be used, if you're discussing a deceased person, it would be better to say that the person has passed on as opposed to the person died or is dead. Other verbal barriers include over-abstraction and ambiguity. In business communication, it's best to speak with concrete words, words that have meaning to where they can be seen or touched, as opposed to abstract words which inflect ideas and feelings. We want to keep our business communication as clear and concise as possible. Polarization. When we present information in an either-or logic, us against them type mindset, you can turn audiences off and they won't listen to your message. So therefore, it's a barrier to communication. Also be aware that what you don't say may communicate a message as well. Nonverbal barriers. So you can have inappropriate or conflicting signals. We typically believe what we see more than what we hear. So for example, if somebody's interviewing with you and they say they have excellent attention to detail, but you happen to notice that they have mismatched socks on, what are you going to think? Difference in perception. The audience, the receiver, people form different perceptions because of their filters being based on their experience, their knowledge, their point of view. Other nonverbal barriers include inappropriate emotions. Moderate emotions are okay. It makes it more personal, but excessive anything isn't good. Distractions can be noise, can be the environment, can be too hot, too cold, or competing elements. The phone's ringing while you're trying to talk. So in conclusion, we've discussed communication barriers or barriers to communication, including verbal and nonverbal. Thank you.